Hey everyone, Roy Shepard here, and today I want to ask you, how are you getting ready for a post-collapse society? Are you doing everything you can to prepare for a catastrophe but still make it fun? Today we're going to talk about that, so stay tuned. Long ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I was working very hard all day. And then at some point I realized that we are not living to work, but we are working to live. And at that point, a light bulb lit over my head, and I realized that I need to do something in my pastime that would be both fun for me and contribute for my future, contribute for me to learn new skills and new things so I can better live in the future. And well, many of you that already know me probably already guessed that the first thing that I tried was self-defense and camping in the outdoors, both activities that I love doing very much. So first of all, self-defense by itself is fantastic, but not for the most direct reasons, or most, the first reasons you can think of is like you can protect yourself in case something happens. Yeah, that's fantastic, but also it gives you a lot more benefits at the same time. For example, it gives you the ability to think on your feet, to improvise, to predict what's going on, take quick decisions, become very calm and calculated during stressful periods, and many other things. Camping, on the other hand, also gives you a lot of extra skills that you can use every day. It gives you the ability to improvise, the ability to adapt to different situations. There are a variety of hobbies that we can participate in, activities that we can do in our pastime that would benefit us a lot in a post-collapse society. And this is the subject of the video today. We're going to talk about the top 5 invaluable hobbies that will make you a prominent member of any community in a post-collapse society. So let's begin. Okay, coming at number 5, we have self-defense. Yes, it's important, but not the most important. And self-defense, as I mentioned before, is a fantastic skill to have. It's great to know how to protect yourself, sure, but it also gives you a lot of benefits around. Now, it doesn't really matter if you pick Krav Maga or Aikido or Sambo or any of the martial arts. It really doesn't matter, as long as you practice one of them. All of them will give you all these benefits, these great benefits. They will give you the ability to think on your feet, to react to situations, to be agile on your feet, to be able to dodge certain things. It could manifest in many different situations. You walk the street and suddenly something falls by you and you can just jump away and save yourself. It will also give you confidence, and you realize that you can actually do a lot more than you initially think you could do. And this translates to all other activities. You realize that it's not so scary to go to a dark parking lot. It's not so scary to go on the street and get passed by a suspicious group of people. The way you train in martial arts, you become very proficient with all the techniques, and you become very disciplined, because you have to have discipline to carry out all these techniques. And anyone who would want to harm you, either in normal times or in a catastrophe situation, they lack these two things. They lack training and they lack discipline. And these are two things that would put you way above the curve in any risky situation. Now, in a post-collapse society, in a community, you will be a huge benefit for the people, because you would be able to train other people to become also proficient in self-defense, and this will inspire confidence. And since you inspire confidence, and since you inspire other people, you become a beloved member of that community. At number 4, we have woodworking. Woodworking is any activity, any crafting of furniture, tools, or anything with wood. Basically doing anything you'd like with wood. And this is invaluable, and you can already picture it in your minds that being proficient with working with wood would benefit greatly in a post-collapse society. And that is absolutely true. It will help you with anything you do in the outdoors. In the outdoors, you use a lot of wood. You do a lot of bushcraft using wood, like making traps, making shelter, and many other things. But in a post-collapse society, you would also make walls, you would make traps, you would make furniture, and that would be fantastic. And everyone would love having you as part of their society, in case of a collapse. At number 3, we have gardening. And obviously gardening is fantastic to prepare food for the long run, but it will give you a lot more skills than just preparing food. You would know a lot of the techniques that would make crop grow better. And for example, which plants work together in symbiosis to grow better. Other plants, they disturb they disturb one another. Other plants are not a good fit together. And which plants are better for each type of environment, which plants need more care, which plants need less care, and what type of pesticide to use, natural pesticide or chemical pesticides, and how to do it proficiently, how to grow crop all year round, which is super important for a post-collapse society. And now, as part of a community, you will provide the basic building block a society is built upon. I mean, without food and without shelter, everyone would be kind of, everyone for themselves. People would turn into their animalistic selves, and there is no society to be built unless you have these two building blocks. So it's super important for any post-collapse community. At number 2, we have camping, and obviously bushcraft that works with camping. Now, sleeping in the outdoors is a whole new experience. Moving to the outdoors, and I'm not talking about an RV or a luxury tent with folding, beds. I'm talking about a mat, sleeping bag, and a tent or a tarp over your head, and that's it. What we call the 10,000 stars hotel. And sleeping there on the hard surface, on the ground and all that, it's different. It's really, it needs time to get used to. And it gets even more important after the age of 30. Back problems start to occur and things like that. So you have to get used to it. The sooner we get this experience under our belt, the better. And it's one of the important skills, and it can be a lot of fun. One of the benefits of camping is you see the things, the materials, the natural materials that you have around you, and you have to improvise tools or any necessities for your easy living. For example, how to make a fire or how to build shelter. You pick up things from your surroundings, you craft them into whatever it is that you need using your knife or your axe, and build whatever it is that you need for, like, traps, shelter, or whichever else. During a catastrophe society, learning and teaching those skills, those survival skills, are super important, especially for the beginning part of a catastrophe, of a survival situation. And also, community or a society that gets together, being able to do these things would help the survival and the well-being of everyone around you. At number 1, we have hiking, trekking, and general fitness. Fitness is by far the most important skill you can have, the most important hobby you can have for a post-catastrophe situation. Every other aspect of a post-catastrophe society is going to be physical in one way or the other. Now, I'm not talking about buffing up and having, ripped abdomen or huge biceps or anything like that. I'm talking about enough fitness to lift weight for few hours per day. I'm talking about walking for long distances, maybe maybe a few miles, like 4, 5, 6 miles per day. I'm talking about carrying weight on your back, up to 22 pounds of weight on your back. These skills, these abilities are super important for a catastrophe situation, for a survival situation. Many people don't realize this, but your fitness level directly relates to your motivation. And if you walk for a few miles or even a few yards and get tired, you and your entire team would get frustrated really quickly, and your motivation would drop drastically. And now that we are in normal times, it is the perfect time to get ready for that. All you need to do is start walking, start lifting some weights. It doesn't have to be heavy, it doesn't have to be a long distances. Just start walking for 30 minutes 2 or 3 times a week. That's a beginning. Do it at your own pace and do your best and forget the rest. That's what I really like to use. That's the best quote that I like to use. And the ability to teach other people how to be fit and how to be motivated in a post-catastrophe society is invaluable. You'll be one of the prime members of a society. People love following someone who is positive, who is energetic, and it's fantastic. Now, another thing that I want to mention, if you are in the outdoors, waking up in the morning is super difficult. You had a night's sleep, pretty much, you wake up every few hours because the surface is hard. And when you wake up, it's cold, it's damp, the morning dew is making everything wet, and you're all stiff and all that. So starting in the morning for about 10-15 minutes of some stretching and exercise. I found yoga in the morning to be fantastic for that, and a little bit of running in place and doing a few push-up or jumping jacks. It really gets the blood flowing. You start the day, even in the outdoors, fully energized and ready to start the day with a bang, which is fantastic. Now, a few honorable mentions, skills that I think are important, but not a top 5, are first of all, blacksmithing. Blacksmithing is the ability to create a smelter, to melt steel or iron, and then forge it into tools, weapons, armor. You'll be able to create walls for protection, to create armored vehicles, to create armoring for walls. It is a fantastic skill to have, so blacksmithing gets a thumbs up for sure. Gunfighting is super important for a post-catastrophe situation. Remember, most people have never held a gun before in their lives. So being able to show people how to hold a gun properly, how to get into firing position properly, how to aim between sights, how to breathe properly, and then hit the target is a huge thing. You know, most people are really brainwashed by Hollywood. They think that you pick up a gun, you just point it forward and you hit the target. It's pretty much, you know, automatic. But anyone who has lifted a weapon knows that that is so far from the truth. If you are anywhere between, you know, 15, 20 yards away from your target, pointing at the target means absolutely nothing. You need to be, to know your techniques, and after your first shot, to reposition yourself and get back on target, that's a whole, you know, a whole new level of understanding, and being able to teach that to other people is a huge, huge benefit. Now, the last thing, the last honorable mention that I like to say is being an instructor. Now, in being an instructor, being a teacher, a trainer is a skill by itself. It's not automatic. Most people don't know how to transfer information to other people. Now, the first thing that you need to understand that not all people are built the same. Some people learn by seeing things, some other people learn by reading things, and other people learn by doing things. And you need to accommodate for each one of them. And always when you teach something, you have to use the demonstrate, train, and supervise method to know that the people that you teach understood what you taught, because otherwise it's basically worthless. So demonstrating is to showing how to do something by yourself, showing it with the steps, explaining the steps that you're doing while you're doing it. Training is letting them do what you want to teach while explaining what you're doing, and supervising is letting them do it with you taking a step back and letting them make mistakes and helping them if they have some something to be, if they need some help. But this method is the most effective training technique there is, and there are a lot more techniques to use as an instructor. To sum up, there are many different hobbies out there, and you can never know what you like doing unless you try it. So my best advice for you is just go out and try different types of activities that you think would benefit in the post-collapse society. Try your hand in blacksmithing, try your hand in gardening. You really have no idea what you'd like and what not. And worst case, you don't like to do something, but you still understood how to do it, and you have first-hand experience how to do a certain activity. And the best case would be that you found something you really like doing, and you have a new hobby to do in your pastime, which is fantastic. And during a catastrophe situation, during a post-catastrophe society, you'll be one lucky person, because you would be able to do the thing that you love doing as part of your contribution to that community, which is fantastic. So go and do, try, and never say never. And now it's your turn. I'd like you to write down the #1 hobby you'd like to try that you haven't tried yet, and you'd think it would be a beneficial hobby for a post-catastrophe society. Moreover, what is the #1 hobby that you like doing that you think would benefit a post-catastrophe society? So write down the comments. I read each and every one of the comments that you write. Next, we're gonna have a fun video, a how to deal with zombies video. It's gonna be fun, kind of science fiction-y, and we're gonna show some techniques about this popular fiction phenomenon, all the zombies everywhere, zombie movies, zombie series, Walking Dead all over the place. And we're gonna see how to deal with them. It's gonna be quite interesting and very, very surprising. I can't wait to share all this with you. So until then, stay safe.